Last week on the one and only Teej. Ah! And now...
Hello! Hello, everyone out there listening. Are you out there? Are you alive? Hello? It's been such a long time. I am the one and only Teej, and you are listening to Bearcast, coming to you live from the Jack and Jones Treasure Studio, part of the Electronic Media Division at CCM, and I kind of forgot how to do that, Terry. Did you notice that? It's been weeks. It's almost been a month. I thought about even not coming down here tonight because of the way that things are, and we're gonna have to talk about that, unfortunately, but we're gonna get to that later because I do need to explain my situation a bit for the past 2 weeks. Because again, it's been that long! Oh my god, I thought I was gonna die, actually. I have been out sick for 2 weeks because I don't know what the hell happened. It was one of those situations where I saw 1 week on campus, they were handing out these flu shots, and I thought, ha! That's a good idea, but I don't have an insurance card on me. Damn. I missed out on that. Well, lo and behold, I just came down with it later on, and all of a sudden I'm just feeling awful. You mix that with a fever and a cold, and it was a miserable couple of weeks. Seriously, I mean, like, that is the sickest I have been in the longest time. It really kicked me on my ass, and I couldn't do much of anything. And I think it was worse, it was intensified because my room was so damn cold. They hadn't turned on the heat yet, and I live above a cellar at the moment. So it was one of those situations where you got cold air underneath, you got cold air on top, and I'm in between the sandwich. Yeah. And so when you sleep in that, it doesn't matter if you're covered or anything like that, you usually get a little bit stuffy and that sort of thing, and you combine it with something actually being wrong with you, and all of a sudden it gets nasty. So that is pretty much what happened to me. No, I according to my roommates, I had to follow up with this because they were very concerned. Actually, they hit me up the next day. Oh shit, when was it? It's really hard to tell when this happened because one, it was a very confusing 2 weeks, and also it was a while ago. And so, one morning they're like, "Who were you talking to last night?" And I'm thinking like, talking to. No one came over. I quarantined myself. I didn't want to get anyone else sick, that sort of thing right there, because I'm a conscientious mother. Yeah, I forgot that we're still on the radio. I'm very emotional right now, as you could possibly imagine. Oh, boy. No, so I wasn't talking to anyone. No one came over, that sort of thing, and I realized that I must have been hallucinating. It got that bad. And a friend came over later that day. One of my mates came over to check up on me and give me orange juice. And it was a whole experience because I had actually been hallucinating. And he's like, "Dude, you look terrible. Let me take you to the hospital." And that is when I was like, ooh, I don't really want to go to the hospital. For those of you who don't know, hospitals are expensive. And when you're sick like that and you've missed work for that long, you're also not getting a paycheck. And so it makes it a bit difficult. You know what I mean? So I refrained from going to the hospital, which was probably pretty bad instinct on my part because it was, again, rough couple of weeks. And I apologize for being away for so long because I didn't enjoy it. I missed class. I missed all these awesome things happening around and on campus. And more importantly, I missed you. So I'm here. I'm back once again, and I'm doing my best. And that's all I can do. And so, I figured, to sort of kick off me being back and sort of in the studio and having fun and all that sort of thing, I thought, hey, what do people arbitrarily like so much more than anything else on the internet? And that is lists. And because there's so many of you millennials out there who have a short attention span, I thought it would be perfect if I created another one of those to sort of just get your interest in here for as long as I can before you decide either A, this isn't worth listening to, or B, you get tired and go to sleep, or C, you're inebriated in some fashion, which is very, very likely in this sort of instance right here, and so consequently, it's just really hard to get your attention anyways. Beyond that fact, I have a list of 5 things that I learned while I was feeling ill. I would love to share that with you because I realized that when you're ill, everyone has their own routine and that sort of thing, but more than anything else is that you stop your typical routine to sort of compensate for the fact that you're not feeling well. So that being said right there, I usually learn a lot of stuff, when I'm just hanging about the house, can't move or anything like that, and so, maybe you're staring at the ceiling and you're like, I never noticed that before. Or, maybe you're contemplating existential thoughts, and so consequently you're like, I've never analyzed this in that kind of light before. That's just me, that sort of thing right there. I don't know, I'm probably weird. But, yeah, that being said, I learned a lot of awesome stuff, and so, Still kind of getting over that cough. It's terrible. So I apologize for that. But getting through this list here, number one was a very, very important distinction, and I'm not sure if you're familiar with it, but it has to do with the fact that there's an extreme difference between orange juice, orange drink, and orange drink. Okay? Now, they all sound relatively similar, and the substance that is, in the bottles is, it's the same color, it's the same concept, really, but it is not the same thing at all. And it was one of those situations right there where, in my routine, on always getting sick and that sort of thing, I usually go to the store, I get something to eat that's probably won't kill me, and easy to make. I get 2 boxes of tissues, a gallon of orange juice, and probably some cold medicine, right? That's usually what I do. And so I went to the store, got all that stuff. It was great. It was wonderful. But hey, like I said, this lasted a long time, and I needed a refill right there. And so my buddy was so nice of him to stop by and bring me orange juice. Or that's what I asked for, at least. And I did not get orange juice. Not to say that it is his fault by any measure, but I noticed the huge difference right there because it was orange drink. 100%. It's like Offbrand Sunny D, which Sunny D, I don't even know if it should count as any of these sort of things right there, because it's just this crap that's secreted from, I don't even think it's oranges that it's from, it's just like, it's like Tang, pretty much. It tastes exactly like crappy Tang. And I can't drink that worth anything, but no, it was like Off-Brand Sunny D, and I'm like, there's like more sugar in there that's gonna just make me sick again. But, it's a thought that counts. Thanks, man. He's not listening right now, so I won't call him out or nothing like that. But, yeah. So, it's important to make the difference right there. Orange juice is what you want. Orange juice from concentrate, that's when you go a little bit lower, that sort of thing right there. And I'm not as big of a fan, but I can get a bit uppity about that kind of stuff, so oh well. And then you got, the Sunny D, the, I don't even know. I can't count Minute Maid kind of with Sunny D because they're both just sugar for the most part and synthetic flavoring. So screw that. And then you got the orange drink, which is the, $1.50 for a gallon, that sort of bit right there. And that's the good stuff. They don't even sell it in grocery stores. You have to go to a convenience store specifically. And most people, just mix it with vodka, of course. But, there's those other individuals who are like, this is what I need when I'm sick. I think that's the longest I've ever heard anyone talk about orange juice. Okay, moving on. I was watching a lot of Netflix while I was sick, so I found out that Colombo, I started watching Colombo kind of on a lark, because I was like, I've never watched it before. I've heard mixed things about it. It is awesome. I mean, I didn't know that Americans knew how to tell a narrative through the film whatsoever. And maybe that's, because of my own ignorance or, the fact that we really don't make good films anymore. And so, you have that stigma, you have that bias that Americans don't know how to, make films. But here we are, a TV show from the 70s, and it totally kicks ass. There's great acting, there's, suspense, and it's not on a huge budget. It's done well, it's shot well, it's thought out. Really makes me nostalgic for those times on where there was sanity in the world. Ah, boy. But we had to surrender it all because all the rest of these normal individuals went absolutely bonkers. Oh, boy, that's fun and all, but, yeah. So, Colombo is absolutely awesome. Also, played a couple of games while I was there, and Saints Row, you need to take it down a notch. Honestly, number 3, right there, plain and simple. Saints Row 4, I don't know what the hell that was. It was kind of entertaining, but, a little too crazy, a little too unfocused, and just clean it up, please. Oh, boy. Let's see. Number 4, of course, this is something I mentioned before, the cellar below a room or a house or something right there. That will make the room absolutely freezing cold, and you can't do anything. And it's miserable and horrible, and I just can't recommend it enough. Thankfully, the boiler's on now, and so we got these radiators that are old as hell, which is cool and all, and it gets the house warm, but it's a whole process of turning them on, so, when you're without those and it gets cold at night, it's a bit rough. Oh, well. Lastly is sort of just an obvious observation that I noticed and that sort of thing right there on where sitting in a room by yourself with blackout curtains gets really confusing after a couple of days. Let me just tell you that. My sleep schedule was completely mixed up and that sort of bit right there, and I started, sleeping like a normal person, like, where you, where you go to bed at night and then you wake up in the morning, and it was all turned around. So that was my sick experience. I'm so glad that we were able to share that right there and all, and we need to start dancing and that sort of thing, because it's been a hell of a week. It's been a rough week, and I have possibly the best band to get out of your funk right there. They're called Gogo Bordello. I'm sure you've heard some of their stuff before, and if you haven't, this is a good one to start on.